Hi guys, welcome back to Origami Twists. Paper choices. You can use origami paper or just regular A4 or 8.5 by 11 paper cut down to size. If you use origami paper, keep in mind that the white side may end up showing in your final heart just due to the nature of the folding. Okay, so I recommend using a 4" by 4" square for this project. That equals 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters square. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll have a couple of technique ideas on how to do some masking if you want to do it to make these from white paper. Okay, let's get folding. With your 4" square, now I'm using a 5" square just so you can see it better for video purposes, but with your 4" square, you're going to take one corner, bring it up to the opposite corner, diagonally, and crease. You're then going to open it up again and go corner to corner the opposite way. We're creating some guide marks here, and essentially it's going to end up looking like a big X once you've finished. If you are doing that on an origami paper and you want the color side to be out, you'll actually fold that with the white side facing up and then just follow the directions through and you should have the color on the outside. Okay, so now turn the paper over. And crease. Opening the paper up, if you were to take your fingers behind it and press, it's going to create almost a three-dimensional effect on your paper. This is really handy because it tells you exactly what to do next. These two valley folds here that dip in on the sides, you have an X with a line through it. Where those two valley folds are, or these two lines, you're going to take those and take your index fingers and press them together. As you do, you'll notice that this triangle here and this triangle here will start to come together. That's a good thing, and you just encourage that. You press them together, and there you go. Once you've got this shape and your paper has collapsed, you're going to take, you'll see you have a flap on top and a flap on the bottom. You're going to take that top flap and look at the very bottom of that triangle. Line it up with this middle line here and make a crease. So I'm taking this bottom line and bringing it up and lining it up with the middle. Now this is the mirror image of that. So I'm leaving the bottom flap alone like I did here, and I'm using just the top flap. I'm taking the bottom edge of that triangle and bringing it up to the middle and making a crease. Oops. Now unfold those two creases, turn your paper 180 degrees and bring this point here up to that middle. Now you'll know it's the middle because your two folds have created that point for you. So you just bring it in to where those two folds here intersect. And unfold. And turn it back around again so that you're looking at it like a pyramid. Now here comes the tricky part, though you can totally do this. I know you can. You've created guide marks, so your paper is going to kind of want to do this, which is helpful. So you're going to insert your finger. You'll notice you've got all these flaps here on the bottom. Insert your finger underneath that top flap. And when you do, if you press towards the top of the triangle, towards that point on the triangle, you'll notice that two parts here just stand up. They're doing that because you've got a fold in here. Well, you're actually going to lay this down on top of that fold. So using your other hand, press down on that fold, and when you do, you'll find that this line here naturally lines up with the line you've got there. And essentially all you have to do is press straight up making sure that this corner here lines up with the middle point there, and this line will then appear. And when it does, you're going to press and make it into a crease. Now let's try it on the other side. This is again the mirror image of the other side. You'll notice it's because we've pressed that piece up, it's standing up, and you're looking at this crease that you've got in here, and taking your other finger, you're going to press towards it and lay it down. So you're just doing exactly what the fold that you've made before is telling you to do. When you do that, this edge will line up with that center line, just like that. And as it does, you press down and it creates a new crease. So this is nice and lined up, and when it does, there's your new crease. Okay? I know that's tricky. Definitely watch the video again, do it in slow motion, and I highly recommend pulling out a piece of paper or scrap paper and doing this with me. You know, even if you have to play it several times, just because you'll find that doing it with your hands actually makes it more, I guess, more real for your brain, and therefore you learn it faster. You'll notice that this has created a flap on top. And if I hold it straight up, you can still see that triangle underneath. So there's a flap here, and then of course the two pieces at the bottom still. You're going to take that rectangle flap at the top and bring it down to the bottom. Phew, an easy one, right? It doesn't happen very often, but there you go. So you've taken it down to the bottom, and you'll notice there is a fold here, and you also have this nice straight edge on that top flap that you just moved. You're going to line up this flap with that creased edge there, and score, and crease. For this part, I'm going to actually draw on it because you'll be able to see your crease, but you may not be able to see my crease. Okay, so up to this stage, you've got this top flap, you've got a crease here, and then you have a crease between the two. You want to take this edge of your top flap and line it up with this second crease that you just made. And as you do, you're going to press down and it will make a little triangle. And again, I'll mark that off so you can see. You're going to do the same in mirror image on the other side. So edge comes up to that new crease that you've made, and there you go. There's another crease. Now this is probably the trickiest part of the whole thing, and the reason is because it is smaller scale. You've done this already before in larger scale in this model, but because it's smaller, it may be a little bit more tricky. It's okay, work with it. Paper is my favorite medium once again because you can just crumple it up and recycle it if you need to and just get another piece. So inside this flap, you've actually created another two little flaps. You've got one that's a whole piece of paper across the top, and then you've got another one that's broken into two pieces there. If you insert your finger in between the two and press down, you'll notice that just like before, your two edges sort of pop up a little bit. That's really great because it means that you've got creases pre-made to make the next fold. So press that down, and then with your other hand, press down on that little triangle and crease. And the key to this, to get it accurate, is that this crease that was already in existence needs to line up with this middle crease. And to show you where that was the edge of that flap. When you fold that up, it's actually going to come in, and you want to line it up with that center. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. It's already popped up, and you just follow the creases that you've already made, the ones that just happened in the last step, and press them down. Again, lining up that center crease, which you'll be able to see much easier on your own model with the center. Okay. You want to make the top part of the heart here. So we're going to do that by taking these center pieces, and it's actually a good thing that that part is split because it makes it really easy to fold the triangles there. You're going to take that triangle and fold it in so that this edge here, so the edge of that bit lines up again with that middle line. So you line the two up and press down. Does it need to be perfect? No, because it's going to be on the back of your work. So, and there aren't a lot more steps to do, so if it's not perfect, it's okay. The world's not going to end. And do the same thing on the other side, but mirror image. So this corner is going to come up, and this edge is going to line up with that center, just like this, and make a crease. So now if I were to fold this up now, I've got a pointy heart. And all we really want to do is just flatten that heart down so that it looks more realistic, I guess. And we're going to do that by just folding it back down, taking the point at the bottom with that top flap and bringing it up to that center line. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Take the little point on the top flap, bring it up to the center, and crease. Now that we've done that, we just open the fold up, and there is your heart on top of your bookmark. So if this were my piece of paper or my page in my book, I would slide this on and it would fit beautifully. Now, of course, this is made with a 5-inch square of paper, but the 4-inch I think makes a nicer bookmark size. You can decide however you like. All right, stay tuned for a little bit, guys, and I will show you a couple of techniques for something called masking that you can do with ink and stuff to decorate your bookmark a little bit more. If you don't want to stick around, but you still feel like watching videos, I'll throw in a couple of links to other videos that I've made here so you can check them out. I hope you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye. Now, I always keep some extra bits and pieces of paper around for just situations like this, where I want to put ink on one area of the paper but not another. I'm going to show you how to do this bookmark, and the easiest way to do that is to take scrap pieces of paper. I use cardstock, but you know, whatever you've got around, and slide it. Actually, I do the sides first. You're going to slide it between the heart and the triangle underneath. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, sliding it in. And you can use these more than once. So if you're doing these for Valentine's or something, definitely reuse your scrap paper. Just make sure that when you put it in, you don't have anything that's going to transfer onto that bottom triangle, because that can kind of, you know, ruin the look. Make sure you use, if they're wet, make sure you use the same side over and over again with the scrap paper. The stamp set I'm using for this technique today is the Moroccan Tiles Uncut Set 46190, and that's from Kazaz.com. I purchased this here in Australia. I'm not actually sure if it's available in America. However, Moroccan tiles are very popular right now, so I'm sure that there's something similar in your neck of the woods if you're interested. And so what I'm going to do is, this is an unmounted set, so I've put it onto my acrylic block and I'm going to ink it up. And making sure that all the background is completely masked, I'm now going to go in and applying even pressure. I'm going to stamp the image. You could use a background stamp for this, you can use a pattern stamp for this, all sorts of things. And I pull the mask away, and there you go. Now you'll probably notice the image is not standing out from the background very well. So the easiest way to fix that is to use a little bit of sponge with a little bit of ink, and then hold your finger behind it so you don't accidentally ink the background, and just put a little bit of ink on the back. If you've got a distressing tool from Tim Holtz, that'll do it. very easily. Sponge daubers will do it. Makeup sponges will do it. That's what this is. It's just a cheap makeup sponge. Making sure you don't have ink on the other side of your finger so you're not accidentally inking your paper, obviously. And just a little bit. Creates a nice border. You could also use a fat marker to do you know, a border. You could use all sorts of things. Paint, whatever you like. Just depends on the look you want. But there you go. There's a little masking technique to go with your bookmark. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you make a bunch of these, and I also hope you have a lovely day. Take care, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.